GM and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're taking a look at a bit of market psychology here with the most hated coins actually rallying the hardest. Now we've got three coins in this video today: Solana, Rollbit and OpenX, the exchange token from Suzu and Kyle Davies. And we're going to talk about where these are maybe in the stages of this hated rally pump, and also maybe how to think about playing these kind of things as well. So if you enjoyed this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop me a GM in the comments down below, and let's get started. So as Ryan Clark posts here, there are two coins in the market that are new, and both are part of something that is hated. One is a bet on the comeback stories. The other is a bet on a growing venue of degeneracy. That is OpenX and Rollbit respectively there. Both are under-owned regardless of personal feelings and opinions. He says, which are they? So we've already given that away. We've got three coins to go through, but the first one is going to be Solana here. This is another hated coin. So just to think about the psychology behind this, why are these hated coins being pumped quite aggressively? Why do they always do these nice reversals and really leave a lot of people sidelined? And why do we see these kind of FOMO rallies in towards the end of local tops? And that is to do with the fact that people under-own these assets and they don't want to be on the wrong side of the trade when it seems very obvious. And we know it's going to be obvious in hindsight that these things do recover. So in terms of the mental model here, the only thing you really want to think about is, would you submit to these narratives? And if so, you want to submit earlier rather than later if you are going to trade them. Or if you know in your heart of hearts, look, I'm not going to trade these things, I'm not interested, well, make sure you don't FOMO in regardless of what you see on socials, etc. So the first one, Solana, we have, of course, SBF absolutely cheerleading this thing up to multiples of billions of dollars. The infamous "will buy all of the Sol off you now at $3 and then you can F off" tweet, that kind of stuff. He was the poster boy of Sol. And then, of course, when FTX blows up, we see he's a massive fraud. Solana's reputation takes huge, almost irreparable damage. But it now seems enough time has passed since FTX's blow up that people have kind of forgotten about all this, and we're starting to see the healing process now take place for Sol. As a case in point, we're going to pull up a few tweets of people, going a bit batshit crazy. So this was Autism Capital. Solana isn't going to happen. An attempt to reframe the narrative really means we need to invent some new bullshit to get liquidity. The scam died when Sam did. Capitulate and move on. So you can see this total negative sentiment, people saying something's dead. That is often a very good bottom signal, or at least a signal to maybe go long in the market, because there was just huge divergence between the fundamentals of said token and the kind of sentiment socially towards it. So these are often very good opportunities. So a lot of people went very hard on Sol to the downside, saying, look, this is crap, we hate it, Solana's broke, Solana's dead, it's offline again, all that kind of stuff. And this is just good sentiment to actually counter trade. Flip side to this, fundamentally, Solana with the Fire Dancer upgrade coming from Jump Capital. So they're bringing out this new validator client called Fire Dancer, as you can see. So Solana's current TPS is around 3.5 thousand, which is obviously very high when you look at the theoretical maximums of, say, just Ethereum. 24 TPS only available right now. Over on ETH with optimistic rollups, you're looking at around max theoretical 5,000, ZK rollups 2,000, etc. But if you look at Solana plus Fire Dancer here, this upgrade that is coming very soon, 0.6, so that is 600,000 to 1.2 million max theoretical transactions per second. So a huge fundamental upgrade coming for Sol, and a huge amount of new applications that can be built on top of this. I honestly think that when Ethereum gets congested and the L2 start to get congested again in the next cycle, there'll be a huge demand for Solana yet again. And we're going to see some really cool products actually built on top of this. So, and on top of this, we have Solana now starting to actually tick up here. And I did a video yesterday on some of the Solana DeFi protocols that are slowly having a bit of a resurgence, and they don't currently have tokens with them. So for example, we went through the likes of MarginFi, Drift Protocol, Zeta Markets, that kind of stuff, yesterday's video. Make sure you go and check that out if you haven't seen it, because Solana DeFi 1.0 was all SBF investing in stuff, huge FDVs. They were marking it up on their books, and then they would list the perps and just short the thing to oblivion over on FTX. This gave a huge negative rap for Solana-based DeFi applications, but now with DeFi 2.0 with SBF out the picture, we're seeing some more airdrop-based launches, more fair launches. People who actually interact with these DeFi applications now are likely to get some decent airdrops and be at the early stages of maybe something special here, newly built on Solana. So here we have the price chart of Sol over the last 30 days. As you can see, breaking out from those very downtrodden prices, $16, $17, $18, now chatting up. We touched 30, bit of a pullback yesterday with Bitcoin showing some weakness, down to around 25 bucks, but now it's up to $26. Market cap 10 billion. So that is Sol, coin number one of the hated rallies. Then next up, can I interest you in the craziest redemption arc possible on planet Earth? Only available in crypto land, and that is 3 Arrows Capital here, Kyle Davis and Suzu with Open Exchange. So after they blew up their hedge fund with around 2.5 billion of other people's money, many notable LPs in the industry, obviously this caused a lot of cascading liquidations across the industry as well. These guys were balls long with their money, everyone else's money, and a load of borrowed money under 3 Arrows Capital, where they're back with Open Exchange, which unironically is a bankruptcy exchange. So this is where you can trade your bankruptcy claims for the OX token and then trade futures and I think spot as well on the Open Exchange, which is a pretty crazy thing for these guys to bring about, knowing their history of what happened over the last few years here. So how hated is this thing? This is just a little thread here from Wazzy Lawyer. So he says, many of the 3AC creditors have now chosen to realign with OpenX to maximize their own recovery. What this means is you have a large number of bag holders holding imaginary tokens which OpenX has printed out of thin air in the hopes this will lead to a recovery. He goes on, and what's the only thing of value in the OpenX ecosystem that a sane person will give them real money for? Your claim for $1 million, which you just traded for 250k of imaginary OX tokens that is locked indefinitely and you just got liquidated on it because bag holders dumped. GM is his tweets. On the flip side, there is likely to be an engineered pump on the OX token in the short run. Higher OX price means OpenX can buy claims for cheaper prices. Potential trade if you do want to trade that and you don't have a soul, he says. So essentially, if you have a claim over $1 million, they want to get on the phone with you. But what they do is you can trade in your claim for roughly 1/4 of the value of it, and you'll be given the Reborn 0x token as collateral to trade crypto futures on their exchange. If you stake your 0x tokens, you get trading fee rebates on the exchange as well, kind of like a VIP tier on an exchange. And this gives people a bit of lease of life and some capital from the likes of FTX and Celsius. So this is the actual website here, and this is the OX token that I've got up on screen. As you can see, it's really starting to move up here quite aggressively, and the all-time high is here around 0.048, so not too far away from actually hitting an all-time high. So you can see this kind of hated coin is really pushing up a brand new rally here. But as that previous tweet did state, there's a huge incentive if you do get involved with this for the OX token to be pumped up. It is a representation of your claim, this token, and this is the token they give you for buying your claim off you, obviously a fraction of the claim amount. So you can kind of get your head around the Ponzi-nomics behind this one, but this is highly likely to actually trade quite a bit higher in my opinion, due to the fact those who are investing in this have a vested interest of OX going a lot higher, as do the owners here as well, and this will be a rather crazy redemption arc for them. Market cap is 150 mil as of filming right now. There is liquidity on Uniswap, on ETH, and on Polygon as well if you don't want to trade directly on their exchange. Then last but not least, the most hated coin probably is Rollbit. The amount of hate this receives online is crazy. People tearing it down, saying it's a scam, pointing to the previous mishaps of the CEOs of this exchange and casino as well, to do with CSGO skins, I believe. But here we have a fresh new partner, Mr. Alex Weiss, one of the most degen traders on crypto Twitter of all time, and he's officially partnered with Rollbit as of yesterday, and this sparked up yet another round of people moaning about Rollbit. This one is one that I do own a bag of. I publicly tweeted about this when it got nuked to 2 cents previously, when Gainsey had to publicly unwind some strange Rollbit position to top up a Bitcoin long or something. It became a good risk to reward trade. Not so much now at like 12 cents, but this thing prints absolute millions for them on a daily basis. And people in crypto are gamblers by nature. So obviously it makes sense that Rollbit is printing some serious M's on a daily basis. Now, this is quite funny, the fact that Alex Weiss is now sponsored by Rollbit. As you can see, this is him punting a $500 million long from a hospital bed in this image here, which he lost. It's kind of like Pablo Escobar being sponsored by a cocaine rehab center, this kind of partnership here. Negative sentiment, again, here we have Tree of Alpha. Starting today, I will officially mute everyone publicly shilling the rollbit.com casino and exchange. He thinks it's a market cancer. Again, someone saying, I think Rollbit is a scam for one reason and one reason only. All the activity happens off chain. That is a fair point. The amount of crime that is likely occurring behind the scenes is enormous, and the entire concept is stupid and broken. Anyone who uses it is a scammer or severely retarded or both. So we can see a hugely negative sentiment against Rollbit. Not a massive surprise. This has been the same since like December of last year when it really first got a bit of traction, but it's now trading at $400 million. And if we just go back to the last 30 days here, it was comfortably below like 2 cents here for quite a period of time. And now it's up to 12. This kind of looks like it's going to print some form of blow off top for maybe a short-term local top here with a bit of a vertical candle coming in the next few days, I would imagine. As you can see, the FOMO on the chart here in plain sight, people are starting to FOMO into this. So I think this is kind of towards the end of its own rally. In the short term, long term, this thing probably goes to above $1 in a bull market. But again, you can just see the psychology of the market playing out here, that these hated coins have stupendous rallies behind them. So if you can kind of spot these things early, there's serious bank to be made from a trading perspective. So this is the infamous Hasaka chart, or his kind of theory behind it. So hat tip to Hasaka trades from DocXBT here. We have on the x-axis the frequency of submissions to a trade. So are people regularly submitting to a trade here? So for example, Rollbit, I think this probably is towards the danger zone, at least this kind of bottom period here. And on the y-axis, the resistance to each submission. So a lot of people were resisting Rollbit over the last couple of weeks. We saw Hasaka himself actually become a sponsor affiliate to Rollbit, and this got a lot of backlash. And then recently you're starting to see the price of Rollbit really tick up, and obviously people are starting to FOMO in here. So I think you can try and plot the various tokens you just talked about on this scale. Maybe Rollbit's down here, maybe the likes of Sol somewhere maybe bang in the middle, and maybe OpenX is actually quite a ways up here, quite a bit away from said danger zone. But of course, that is for you to think about and to digest this kind of market psychology as to why these hated coins do rally quite hard here. It is rather intriguing, and you can see how being a contrarian in this market can be highly profitable. A lot of these likely to do multiples in a short period of time because so many traders are offside in these trade setups. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please drop me a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new. See you in the next one. Peace.